Tony and Pat, he struck me as being confident, almost cocky, and he's a young man who will not back away from trouble. Let's go up to Pat and Tony now.
Well, Brent, one of the criticisms, if that's a correct choice of words, of Pat Cash was his temperament. The fact that he was a little bit too sure of himself, that he might have been a little cocky.
Ladies and gentlemen,
but we'll see.
Well, I watched Pat Cash play throughout Wimbledon this past summer, and his behavior was fine. There was nothing wrong with it at all. I think he did act badly a couple times, and the Australian officials and some friends and family got on him about it. And I think he recognizes his position. He wants to be a good player and well respected. He is confident. He's not cocky necessarily. He's just quietly confident. He knows how well he can play. He knows how good he is now, and he knows he's going to get better.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, sir. You need that if you're going to get up in this strata.
Well, let's check out how he got this far to the semifinals. Pat Cash, Nastasi first, Brad Gilbert second, then Todd Nelson, Greg Holmes, and then Wilander. So you know if you can beat a person the caliber of Wilander, you've got to have some talent. Lendl. His record is, well, speaks very well for itself.
Brian Teacher in straight sets, Eddie Edwards in 4 sets, Jimmy Brown easily, Andres Jarrett in 3 straight easily, and Andres Gomez. We all thought that was going to be a tougher match against Andres Gomez, and that shows you what kind of a player Lendl is, because Gomez has been playing beautifully. He's ranked 5th in the world, and Lendl handled him.
Cash will serve as they wait for the crowd to settle down. In the chair is Charles Beck.
Thank you very much.
Of Conway, New Hampshire. Packed house.
Ready?
And this is what everybody's waiting for. Great day of tennis.
Love 15.
Charles Beck, chair umpire. Sometimes I think he talked about Cash being only 19, and it's hard to believe that that man, Ivan Lendl, is just 24. Seems like he's been around a long time.
As you can see, runner-up the last 2 years to Jimmy Connors.
All.
Cash covered the down-the-line passing shot. Lendl barely got there, so couldn't really make much of a shot, but Lendl has the ability to make a lot of those on the run, and normally it is down the line. Also, normally Lendl passes off the backhand down the line.
Somebody up in the stands had one of the balls. Decided whether to throw it back into the court or not. He was leaning toward down the line again.
30-40.
See, there's no power on this volley because he did a good job just to get to it, and Lendl surprised him by rolling back cross court. That ball's hit a little bit harder on the volley. He couldn't get there early enough to do that. Break point.
Cash has that service motion that takes him forward and takes him to the net, and he gets there in a hurry.
All stems from a toss that goes forward into the court, so you're leaning in, and as you're hitting, you're taking your first step forward.
Advantage, Cash.
Did you hear, Pat, while we're doing our opening, whether Cash won the toss or whether Lendl won it?
No, I didn't.
Because thinking about it, if Lendl thought that Pat Cash might be nervous starting out, more nervous than normal, he might have won the toss and let him serve, trying to get that early break. I understand Cash did win the toss, and he's elected to serve.
Won't see that happen very often. That is Lendl at the net.
Here's a look at Pat Cash's serve. The hands come up together, leaning into the court. Feet come off the ground. Good wrist snap that you have to get speed and or spin. Live at deuce.
Advantage, Lendl.
Another break point for Lendl. First game, first set. That serve fell very, very short. And if you play a guy that's going to take your second serve and try to come in off of it, that's the kind you'd come in behind.
That is a tough second serve.
Deuce.
And I think something really surprised Lendl for going for something like that on the second serve down a break point.
Advantage, Cash. Game, Cash.
Struggle. Cash holds. He leads 1-love. First set.
Cash wins the first game of the match.
The road to the U.S. Open starts here with the kids. Instruction and guidance provided by the United States Tennis Association through its grassroots programs. Arthur Ashe.
You're never too young to learn or too old to play.
Jimmy Arias began playing competitive tennis in 1973. At 19, he made it to the semifinals at the 1983 U.S. Open. Now he gives his time and talent to others.
If you keep your arms relaxed, when you relax, you'll be perfect.
Tennis for America. The USTA makes it happen.
Ivan Lendl set to serve to Pat Cash. Love won first set. And now Lendl will take some time until seats are found. What little breeze there is at Lendl's back.
Love 15.
Tomorrow, don't forget, the NFL Today starts at all, 12:30 Eastern Time. Dallas will be at New York. Minnesota, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Green Bay at the Los Angeles Raiders. Check your local listings. Speaking of the NFL, Commissioner Pete Rozelle on his lovely wife Carrie alongside. Both avid tennis fans. Dan Rather in front. So we got just about every day of the week covered. There's Mike Wallace.
When you play with the commissioner, you want to cover down the alley in the deuce court. He likes to go down there with his forehand.
He's got a little stuff on everything. Plays tennis like he negotiates.
Short second serve.
Love 40.
3 break points. If Cash does that a few times early and does it with any success, Lendl might have to change his serving strategy, and I'll get that in just a moment.
Great way. 2-love Cash.
Cash leads 2 games to love.
Well, there's an early swing. Lendl had 2 break points on Cash's first serve. Couldn't capitalize. Now Cash is broken, so he gets the early jump.
5 breaks.
We'll check feedback.
Who works with Lendl. His friend. Had an excellent career himself.
Lendl thought the ball took a funny bounce, I think.
Well, Cash put a little kick on that one. Called American twist. Hit, jumps up and away from the right hand to the backhand side.
Ran around and hit a forehand winner.
30 love.
We were a couple of years ago asking Jimmy Connors who he saw on the horizon as a rising young star, and that was the first name out of his mouth, Pat Cash. That was close.
That's just too good.
Love.
Some sight, this huge panorama. Men's semifinals, Ivan Lendl against Pat Cash. Double fault. It's first one.
40-15.
Aim to Cash, and he leads 3-love in the first set.
Cash leads 3-love.
In all of my travels in Japan and Italy and Germany, the Prince is really becoming the racket of the future. It's able to give each and every player an added benefit. Eric Carita said to me, I can't believe the power that I'm getting out of my service. It feels like I'm doing nothing. Andrea Temesvari told me I can slice it, I can hit my big flat ball. I get very few off hits, and that's what the whole story is. Confidence with a weapon that does it all.
Pat Summerall and Tony Trabert. Lendl and Cash, men's semifinal. Lendl serving. Love 3.
Love. Love.
That looked out.
40 love.
Cash thought it was out.
Looked out from our vantage point.
Sure did. Looked well out.
There's another look. It's always tough when you do it on a replay when it's crossing a line. It's easier to tell it's going along the line. At any rate, it's 45. Lendl has stopped hitting his hard first serve, taking some speed off to get the first one in so Cash can't come in behind it.
That is vintage Lendl. That powerful forehand.
3 games to 1.
Cash leads 3-1. First set. Men's semifinals.
When he hits the ball, the forehand into the backhand side of a right-hander, he gets more pace on it. See, Lendl's been seated in the top 3 here the last 4 years. When he pulls it into the forehand side, he gets more top on it, doesn't go as fast.
15 love.
Cash doesn't take much time.
And he's very, very fit. He's strong. There's no way, I don't think he's going to get tired no matter how long the match goes.
He could really jump, too.
Wimbledon, he played long doubles matches and singles matches. And he came out firing in the semis.
Oh! 15-all.
He missed it.
A little bit too big a swing.
15-30.
A little anxious.
A lot of court. Didn't have to be that hard, did it?
No, and that's why you're more interested in accuracy than you are sheer speed on the volleys. That's why you want to make a short motion.
30-all.
Great Don Budge on the right with his wife Lori in the middle and big Jake Kramer enjoying the tennis.
A few championships there.
Oof. Talk about talent. When they talk about who might have been the greatest player of all time, those two names always come up. Lendl might still be a little bit tight. He's been in the finals twice, hoping to get there for the 3rd time.
Cash serving well. Holds, and he leads 4-1. First set.
Cash leads 4 games to
Ivan Lendl serving now at 1-4. First set.
Cash should join us late. Cash broke Lendl's first serve to go up 2-love.
15 love.
First serve percentages, Cash at 52, Lendl only 38, neither one really good.
All the statistics we'll be giving you throughout the day have been furnished to us by the Burroughs Corporation.
Frankie Parker on the left, Dick Satius on the right, former champions, Hall of Famers.
Lendl serving 15-all. First double fault, 15-30.
Shaky toss that time. Lendl was actually falling backwards when he struck that one. This would give him 2 service breaks in his first set. Crowd stunned.
Buzzing. That's a pretty good call.
We'll see if Cash comes in.
He likes to. Guessed right. Everything was right except the mechanics. Still break point.
Boy, that could be a big, big point right there. Service breaks.
I'm sure Pat Cash thought he had that point won. Maybe he relaxed a little bit.
Boy, oh boy, that's a biggie right there.
2 big points, back to back, won by Lendl. Out.
Take another look, see if we can tell on the replay. You be the judge. Lendl, let's see what he has to say.
I'm going to call in the judge in the chair, Charles Beck.
I think it's second big mistake this man has made, and I think he has to be changed as soon as possible. Okay. Because it's going to cause trouble either way. He got bad call, I got bad call. Both were this far out.
Well, that's not a bad way to handle it. Ivan says that he got a bad call, I got a bad call. It's a thankless job that these lines people have. He's saying, well, I think we ought to get him changed as soon as possible so we don't have any more trouble. It's break point for Cash.
Deuce. Back to deuce.
So in your mind, Lendl, can you erase that now, saying, well, it didn't cost me anything? At least it cost me the game.
Cash. Break point again for Cash. Number 4 in this game.
Lendl not getting his first serve in with any degree of consistency.
That one looked closer than the other one. Advantage.
You know, it's a comforting feeling for a tennis player to know that no matter how well your opponent serves, he basically is not going to come in behind it. So if you can't take a good swing at it, you just block it back and you stay in the point.
That's ace number 1 for Ivan.
Advantage, Lendl.
Talking about just exactly what Cash did. He just blocked that first serve back.
Yep. And even if it's a little bit short, Ivan isn't really anxious to come to the net. He will do it some of the time.
Just not comfortable.
First serve. Advantage, Lendl.
And Cash thought the serve was long. There's no beep from Cyclops, however.
As I mentioned earlier, I was out there with the officials going over that Cyclops situation, and if it doesn't beep and that ball's hit within 12 inches behind the service line, then it is good. Or it's beyond that 12-inch area, then it won't beep at all.
They think it's very accurate.
Right. Well, a super stretch volley that time by Cash. You'll see him not hit this one with a lot of pace, but got it deep. Lendl's way behind the baseline. Now there is a stretch, touch backhand cross-court volley. Lendl sort of shook his head and said, man, you're not supposed to be able to do that.
If that first volley hadn't been that deep, he would have never gotten there. Another break point.
Advantage Cash.
You know, Lendl only goes to the net about 14.3% of the time. These are stats given to us earlier. Big serve. But when he goes there, Patty wins almost 76% of the time. So you say, why didn't he do it more often? He does pave the way well to the net with good approach shots, but he doesn't do it real frequently.
Advantage Lendl.
Conversely, you take Cash, he goes to net 46.6% of the time. And when he's up there, he wins about 67.3%. So he's in there more often. Obviously, you're not going to win quite as many, but different strategy.
Game Lendl.
Game to Lendl. It was a struggle. Lendl holds. Cash leads 4-2 in the first. Very nearly
Cash leads
an
4-2.
outstanding return by Cash. But Lendl wins the game.
By far the longest game of the match thus far.
Ace number 2 for Pat Cash.
15 love.
Great cut.
30 love.
That's the way it's happened so far in this match. Lendl's been to the net only once and won the point. Cash 17 times, won 11 points.
Those soft shots aren't going to beat Cash on the attempted passing shots because he moves so well.
Ball. $30-15. $40-15.
I think Ivan's going to have to stop taking such a big swing on the return on the backhand side because he's mishit several of them. Cash's serve does jump up high. He's going to probably block it back, perhaps with a little underspin.
He's certainly capable of doing that.
Very unusual point, and the crowd loves it. I don't think I've ever seen Lendl do this before. A big swing, a lot of backspin. Cash gets there because of his good speed. Now Lendl tries it a topspin lob. It's good enough that Cash can barely get his racket on it. Now from way deep in the court, bingo, right in the corner. Perfectly as we come back live, 40-30.
Cash missed his first serve. Second double fault by Cash. Lendl pulls back, even.
Boy, that was some shot from Lendl, being that far behind the baseline, and to be able to drive the ball and get it past Pat Cash at the net.
All you can do is watch that one. Ace number 3 by Cash.
Advantage Cash.
Cash holds, and he leads 5-2 in the first set.
Cash leads 5 games to 2. New ball.
At the National Tennis Center, Pat Summerall with Tony Trabert, soon to be joined by John Newcomb. Toughest ticket in New York.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Saturday at the U.S. Open. Tougher even, I think, than Sunday.
Quiet, please.
I think that's right. I tried to get some for a couple of friends, and they just laughed at me.
The friends didn't laugh, did they?
No, they weren't laughing too much.
5-2 Cash. First set of this men's semifinal. Ivan Lendl will serve. Looking a little bit up into a very bright sun from that end.
Let's see if Cash tries to come in off the second serve. Little intimidation tactic there, slapping a forehand as hard as he could straight at Cash. Cocked the top of the net. Might have heard Ivan in his interview earlier saying, I've been hit plenty of times, and I've hit people plenty of times. Sometimes it's unintentional, and sometimes it's less unintentional. Somehow I think that's a tough kid to scare right there.
He looks like it.
On or off the court.
Good serve, yeah. Spun him wide.
30-15.
And I think that's a thing that some people don't do enough of. Take a little speed off, get a higher percentage, and move it around well. Who says they're going to make them, return them all?
$40-15.
40-15. A lot of balls close to that line. Game to Lendl.
Not a bad try there by Cash. He has the service break.
Cash leads 5-3.
Now he has to concentrate on holding the serve and running out the first set.
I've seen McEnroe tie one shoe, but this is a both shoe trick.
5, please.
I used to kid McEnroe when we were on the Davis Cup team. I said, I'm going to get you a lesson in how to tie shoes so they'll stay tied. Cash to serve, 5-3.
Ace number 4 took him wide.
15 love.
Once again, that serve not hit with maximum pace. As you said, broke it out wide.
15 all.
Not much you can do about that.
You can hit that serve a little deeper.
Yeah. That would be one area. Perhaps Cash should work.
Forehand volley at times can be, you know, a little bit of a problem. And of course, it's all relative. Again, we're talking about being in the semis of the U.S. Open. We're not talking about playing at your club on the weekend.
That one missed.
30-15.
Lendl's hit a lot of balls. He always does.
Well, he comes up from underneath the flight of the ball. Both edges of the rack are going to intercept the flight of the ball, and if you don't watch it perfectly, you're going to catch one of those edges.
30-15.
Short volleys.
He does cover the net well.
40-15.
And it's 2 set points now for Australia's Pat Cash. Incidentally, Pat, this match is going down to Australia on 9's Wide World of Sports. I want to say hi to all the viewers down there. I know they're very ecstatic the way this match is going thus far.
Pat Cash has played extremely well.
Here it is.
Game in first set. Cash 6-3.
Cash wins the first set 6-3. You look at New York in the background. We'll be back with more tennis action after this word from your local station.
Next Saturday, college football returns to CBS Sports with a game between two of the nation's top teams, the Washington Huskies and the Michigan Wolverines, next Saturday on CBS Sports. This is CBS.
Pat Summerall, Tony Trabert.
Please be seated.
Pat Cash won the first set over Yvonne Lendl 6-3.
Took 41 minutes for that first set. It's a tough place to get everybody settled down on court changes because there aren't enough exits for all the people trying to get in and out.
A lot of people here. Packed house. They have changed
15
the lines person. Where they had the discussion before, they've changed and replaced him with a Newman.
About every hour they change officials anyway.
30 love.
That's how Lendl has such a high winning percentage when he does go to the net, because he comes in on good stuff. You don't have to be a great volleyer. And he passes up a lot of opportunities to go into the net.
Badly mishit serve.
40-15.
Second double fault by Lendl. Lendl holds serve in the first game of the second set. Cash won the first set. The wind has freshened just a little bit more. As you look at the New York City skyline in the background and the National Tennis Center Stadium. Pat Cash serving. Love one second set.
Love.
An outright winner.
30 love.
You know, when you see a guy roll the shot, go over it like that, you sort of expect it to come cross court the majority of the time. And Cash hits a good topspin backhand down the line.
40 love.
It's another thing he does very well is he changes up on his first serve. Doesn't give him the same smoke every time.
Short approach shot.
Game Cash.
That could have been trouble. Lendl hit it into the net. It's 1-1 second set.
Cash lost one set en route to the semis. That was to Mats Wilander. And Ivan Lendl has lost one set. That was to Eddie Edwards in the second round. So they've both cruised pretty well. Now again, I'll be surprised if Cash doesn't try to come in off the return here. Put pressure on. Pretty deep serve.
Love.
A little bit.
No! 13-15.
There's been a lot of talk about the speed of these courts. Some say they might be too fast, but that's not the only factor.
No, I think they're using a light ball, a fast ball. I think they'd be better off with a heavy-duty ball, which would make it a little tougher for the server, and you'd then have more rallies. I think it'd be smart to slow it down a little bit.
Good shot. That's frightening.
40-30.
Just out.
Game Lendl.
Game to Lendl, and he leads 2 games to 1. Yes, in the second set.
Please be seated.
Men's semifinal. Ivan Lendl against Pat Cash. Lendl seated number 2, Cash number 15. Pat won the first set 6-3. It's 2-1 Lendl in the second. We mentioned we're being seen and heard in Australia. We're also being heard and seen in Canada via CBC. Those of you, our cousins to the north, welcome to our semifinal broadcast of the 1984 U.S. Open. Get that sinking feeling. That ball goes over your head like that. There's nothing you can do.
Nope.
Lendl's been to the net 3 times, won all 3 points. Cash 17 out of 26, which is not bad.
Not bad against the number 2 seed.
strokes that he has.
Love 30.
First time Cash has been behind on his serve. Love 30 in the match. Only the second time he lost the first point on his serve. Good chance for Lendl here.
Both players had a little difficulty serving from that end.
It's out.
40.
3 break points for Lendl. Well, I have the opportunity. I'd like to congratulate Coach Dick Leach, who's won the Wilson Intercollegiate Tennis Coach of the Year. 4 years at the University of Southern California. His teams have won 141 and only lost 29. Great job by Coach Leach.
Cash thought he had an ace. Lendl still has 2 break points.
I don't recall seeing Lendl miss as many forehands as he's missed thus far. They're the unforced errors. So one guy's charging more in Cash, so he's apt to make more errors.
Won 2 points with that topspin lob.
Lendl leads.
Vicious
3-1.
swing. Here's another look. Because he tops the drives anyway, you can't tell it's coming. Cash has quit already because he knows he has no hope. The only chance is for the ball to go long. So first break of the match for Ivan Lendl.
He leads 3-1. Second set. Cash won the first.
Love.
Cash does that well, the backhand going the opposite way, the off backhand, because he plays the deuce court in doubles, and he returns in that direction off the backhand.
Love.
Great return.
Well, you're not kidding.
30-15.
I think Cash has got to continue to try to get to the net at all costs, not stay back in the backcourt and rally and trying to be hitting winners from the backcourt. That's not really his game.
Up. 40-15.
Lendl
leads
4-1 in the second. Lendl and Cash in the men's semifinal. Pat Cash serving, trailing 1-4 in the second. That looks like about the way he started.
I was just thinking he came out smoking that first part of that first set, got an early break, led 2-love, then held serve for 3-love, and made that one service break stand up. He's now down a break in the second set to Lendl.
Up. 15 all.
First serve percentage in the first set, Lendl was 48, Cash 50. In the second set, you can see Cash has fallen off a bit and Lendl has picked up a bit.
That's why the results are a little bit different. At least one of the reasons.
30-15.
Pat Cash has changed shirts on the last score change. The match is right now 1 hour old.
One match at Wimbledon this past summer, I think Cash changed about 5 times.
Out. 40-15.
40-15. Pam Schreiber enjoying the tennis. Lendl missed.
Game Cash.
Cash holds. It's 4-2 Lendl, second set. Pam Schreiber and her partner Martina Navratilova in the women's doubles final.
And they have a 60-some match winning streak, going 68 or something like that.
Incredible. Speaking of Martina, coming up next after Lendl and Cash are through, the women's final. Martina Navratilova, the #1 seed, against the #2 seed, Chris Everett Lloyd. Things really held up to form in the women's draw.
Lendl starting to push Cash around a little bit now. Stand a little near that baseline. He's not getting so deep when the rallies.
And serving better, as we pointed out with that statistic earlier.
Good shot by Lendl.
He moves out to a 5-2 lead in the second set after Cash won the first set.
5-2. 2 balls.
Pat Cash set the serve with new balls. He won the first set 6-3. Serving at 2-5 in the second. Lendl has picked up the level of play.
Love.
In 1982, Lendl won 15 tournaments, won over $2 million in prize money. This year, he's won only 2 of 10, though he's been in the finals of 6. And with all that, he's still ranked #2.
He was unbeatable a couple of years ago, almost.
Except in the big events.
30 love.
30 love.
Lendl might be coasting a little bit on this game, thinking I'll just not worry too much about this one, go hold my serve.
$40 love. $40-15.
40-15. Third double fault by Cash. The wind probably took its toll on that toss. Again. Great return. Lendl leads 5-3.
Lendl leads 5-3.
He'll be serving from the end where you don't have to contend with the sunlight and with the wind at his back.
I think that's the play that Cash has to try to make, is come in off the Lendl's second serve. If you can't do it on the run too much, you got to make sure you make the approach or it doesn't matter.
Love.
Lendl says there was no beep.
It was beyond 12 inches.
Lendl said, I didn't hear a beep. Was it beyond the 12 or 13 inches? The umpire nodded yes.
Love.
So Lendl has 3 set points.
Cash looking a little shaky now.
Yep. And Lendl trying to get even at a set apiece. Pat Cash couldn't get anything on any of the volleys, but he ended up winning the point anyway. Little set point. So Lendl wins the second set, 6-3.
And we'll be back with more tennis action after this word from your local station.
Next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Defending champion Thomas Hitman Hearns will square off against the third-ranked contender Fred Hutchings, live for the WBC World Super Welterweight Championship.
Plus horse racing from New York's Belmont Park, featuring a race for 3-year-olds and up, the Woodward Stakes. A report on the NFL executive behind the Jacksons tour.
College football scores, highlights, and more, all next weekend on CBS Sports Saturday. This is CBS.
Thank you very much.
And John Newcomb has just joined us. Pat Cash won the first set 6-3. Von Lendl came back 6-3 in the second. Good to have you, Nuke.
Good to be back.
You played well.
I've been listening to you guys in the dressing room, all the players there watching the match.
Did you enjoy the center court?
It was fun out there, yeah. The only thing I didn't enjoy, I kept waiting for Tony to send messages down, some coaching.
Lendl did not think the serve was good. Let that be known.
Pat Cash thought it was good.
Lendl still doesn't think it was good. Cash still does.
Something Cash stopped doing in the second set is kicking that serve up on the backhand side of Lendl and coming in behind it. Was effective in the first set.
Up. 40-15.
Service ace, number 6 for Pat Cash, and he wins the first game of set number 3.
Wins the first game, third set.
Hi, I'm Tracy Austin. Whether you're competing in the U.S. Open or at your neighborhood course, you've been touched in some way by the United States Tennis Association. USTA not only sanctions tournament play in the United States, it also gives guidance and support to recreational tennis. The sport for a lifetime. Tennis for America, the USTA makes it happen.
A message from the United States Tennis Association.
Lendl in the near court. Serving now wins the first game. Oh, first point of the second game of the third set. Let's go down quickly to Brent Musburger.
Pat, with me is Mike Estep, the coach of Martina Navratilova, and of course Martina is about to take center court against Chris Evert-Lloyd for the women's championship. Mike, as we watch Yvonne Lendl serving here, what are your final instructions to Martina today for her championship match?
Well, I'd continue playing similar to the way she's played Chris in the last 12 matches, which is simply attack as much as possible, get in on Chris's second serve, and serve and volley on her own first serve and second serve if possible. The rally shouldn't take too long because Chris is very steady off the baseline, so she needs to do something early in the point.
Let's go up to Pat now.
40-15, Lendl serve.
Pat Cash didn't really make a good volley prior to that smash. He let Lendl get back to the ball. Was a little tentative, I think, on the volley. Lendl has that sawdust in his pocket, and every once in a while he gets a little bit in his eyes. They have to sweep on court changes.
Cash gets even.
Not frightened to go to Lendl's forehand either.
And it's worked. Yvonne has not hit his forehand well, nearly as well as we've seen him do it in the past.
Looks very tentative over there to me.
Advantage to Lendl.
It looks like an eyelash. Maybe it's mixed with sawdust.
Deuce.
Pat Cash has not been attacking in the second set, part of this set, as much as he did the first set, and I think it's been one of the mistakes he's made. You know, you're going to get past some by a guy like Lendl, but if you come in on decent stuff, you got a good chance. I think that is Pat Cash's best opportunity.
I would have thought that after he won the first set, he would have really tried to pour the pressure on and come in a lot. That's the second forehand that Cash has missed in this game. Like he really turned front onto the net too quick.
Lendl comes up with a big serve. Let's go down to Brent once more.
Mike, how is Martina's attitude in this tournament as compared with a year ago?
She's much more relaxed. She's enjoying it a lot more. It's like stopping and smelling the roses. And she's playing well, and she's enjoying her stature in life right now, and it's a lot more fun for her.
How about this particular match we're watching out at the stadium, Pat Cash and Yvonne Lendl? I know you've seen them throughout the tournament. Are you surprised at how well the youngster played in the first set?
No, I'm actually more surprised. He looks a little more hesitant now than he did at the beginning. I don't know if he's coming under some pressure or Lendl's actually making him feel the pressure more. He doesn't seem to be as quick and as decisive as he was early. I don't know if he can get... He's young, so he can still get rejuvenated, but we'll have to wait and see.
Thank you very much, Mike, and good luck. Let's go back outside now to Pat.
Thanks.
And Mike, we'd certainly agree with that observation. He came out really looking strong in the first set.
I know our viewers in Australia will be happy to know that young Mark Kratzmann has won the juniors here, defeating Boris Becker of Germany 6-3, 7-6. Mark doing very well.
Congratulations to Mark.
That's the Wimbledon and United States junior titles for Mark now.
Pretty good credits.
Good shot from Lendl. Change of pace, a lot of top spin. You know, the junior titles around the world are taking a lot more. They're taking a lot more notice of them now. If you look at Lendl, 5 years ago, he won all the junior titles. 2 years ago, Cash won the Wimbledon and United States juniors. Here they are in the semis of the Open.
Stefan Edberg won them all last year.
Not a good shot from Lendl there, Tony, on the backhand. He was really tentative. I thought he might try to whip it with some topspin.
This wasn't a good shot here either. This little dink is not going to beat a guy as fast as Cash. Cash a little bit tentative on some of his volleys, too. He's giving Lendl extra swings at the ball, and you can't do that against good players. They're going to eventually get it past you.
Not getting him as deep as he was earlier either. That's more like it.
40-30.
Lendl has still only been to the net 3 times. He won all 3 points. Cash up there 41 times has won 28 points. Game to Cash, and he wins and leads 2-1 in set number 3.
Cash leads 2-1.
U.S. Open in New York City. Pat Cash with us back to you. That's Yvonne Lendl. Sets are 1-all. Cash is up 2-1 in the third. Diane Sawyer, who is an avid tennis player and a good player.
I'm a big fan of hers. I think she does a great job. I understand she's going to be doing some things on 60 Minutes.
Joining the cast of 60 Minutes, leaving the CBS Morning News.
40 love. Lendl.
2-2. Third set.
2-0.
John Newcomb is back from his bath and his wars of earlier today. And Nuke, what's been your impression of this so far?
I get the feeling, although they've played 2 sets, that they are still a little tentative out there. I almost get the feeling like they're feeling one another out still, which is strange to get into the 3rd set. But I don't know. Cash is certainly in there with a real chance if he can get on top of that net as quick as possible.
And he hasn't been doing that, Nuke. He just really stopped seizing the opportunity, even forcing some opportunities to get in there.
Were you surprised if you were coaching him on the court, you know, like Davis Cup after that 1st set? Would you have said just
keep going,
get in?
keep going, keep the pressure on?
Yeah.
Love 15.
Now, just to explain why that might be that he didn't, is a thing like center court nerves. I don't mean he would be nervous, but that he might just not be concentrating on the job because of the pressure out there on the center court. Big occasion, semi-final, 20,000 people.
That's the running forehand I alluded to earlier. Lendl makes so well, and we'll take another look.
Love 30.
Going to be late getting there. Top spin just threads the needle. All Cash can do is look at it. Love 30.
Cash is coming in. Volley's long.
Love 40.
Love 40.
A couple of very positive shots from Lendl there. He really went after them. Cash did well to pick up the first volley that good.
$15.40.
Still break point.
And the break is achieved by Ivan Lendl. He leads 3-2 in the 3rd set. Sets are 1-all.
Lendl leads 3 games to 2.
Tom Landry has decided Gary Hogaboom is his starting quarterback. See the Dallas Cowboys take on the New York Giants among those regional games tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Back at the National Tennis Center. Lendl in the near court. Pat Cash at the other end.
That's a good point from Cash. That's what he's got to do this game if he doesn't want to
15.
sort of slowly get put out of this match. This is the time when he's got to come back and hit Lendl hard.
Lendl just broke Cash. Well, we can't do much with that. Cash has just changed shirts for the 3rd time.
Ace number 3 for Lendl.
Lendl at the net. It's the 4th time.
30-15.
That's the lineup tomorrow on CBS. The NFL today begins it all. Dallas at New York. Both those teams won their openers. The game of the day probably is Green Bay against the Los Angeles Raiders.
Oh. Had not been doing that earlier.
40-15.
That change came in the last game, didn't it, over Lendl?
Get that feeling he can win now.
He's got the feeling.
Yeah, for the first time in the match, probably he's starting to believe that he's win the match.
Game Lendl.
Game Lendl, he leads 4-2 now. Cash having a little difficulty.
4-2.
Would you think he should be serving and volleying regularly or mixing it up, Tony?
Well, I'd like to see him serve and volley more, and then if Lendl gets too tough on it, then start mixing it up. But when he's kicked that ball high on Lendl's backhand, Lendl has had trouble with it.
Good lob. These balls and the pace of the court, which I'd say is a medium fast pace of court, you come in on a good approach shot like Cash just did, deep.
You're in pretty good shape, aren't you?
Well, maybe they'll get some by you, but not too many.
If you don't know, John Newcomb
30 love.
played a match earlier this morning, 35 and over, semifinal match against Stan Smith. So he speaks with authority.
Not too authoritative. I lost.
He won the first set.
Ball. $30-15. $40-15.
Just watching that play there, the serve. First serve to the forehand, come in, do a positive volley to the backhand. Lendl's got a big grip change from forehand to backhand. Not a bad play, Tony.
He can pull it off.
Yeah. Bit risky going to the forehand,
Yeah.
but
Pat actually has mixed his serves up pretty well. He's broken some wide here in the deuce court that have been effective.
Tried to again.
He's had difficulty hitting Lendl's backhand on the second serve here in the deuce court because Ivan tries to step around it.
Game Cash.
Game to Cash. Lendl still leads 4-3 in the third.
Lendl leads.
Investing these days is a little bit like you playing tennis against Jimmy Connors. You're going to need all the professional help you can get. Payne Weber can supply that help. A full range of services and the financial advice to help you make those difficult decisions. Because at Payne Weber, we believe the quality of life just might depend on the quality of your investments.
Hey, great match. Thanks, Jimmy. Thank you, Payne Weber. Next time I'm with those guys on my team, okay?
Seats, please.
National Tennis Center, the stadium, and the site today of a great day of tennis.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Right now, it's Pat Cash of Australia against Ivan Lendl of Czechoslovakia. Sets are 1-all.
Quiet, please.
Lendl leads 4-3 in the third. Still to come, the women's final between Martina Navratilova and Chris Evert Lloyd as they wait for the crowd to settle down. Then after that, it'll be Connors against McEnroe.
Lendl serving with a break, so he's in the driver's seat a little bit right now.
$15 love.
College football at the half. Michigan 6-0 over #1 ranked Miami of Florida. Ohio State 15, Oregon State 14, fourth quarter. Penn State 10-10 against Rutgers.
30 love.
Pat Cash talking to himself now.
Lendl's fifth ace of this match.
I think it's 3 in the last 2 games.
40
isn't it?
love.
Yes.
So he has really picked up the pace in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Something he was not doing earlier in the match. He wasn't serving well.
He was at 38% early in the match.
Game Lendl.
Strong game. 5-3. Lendl
Lendl
leads.
leads 5-3.
Cash appears to be a little dejected and perhaps a little confused here. He certainly has slipped away from his game plan, which was to press Lendl, rush, get to the net as much as possible.
Asking the umpire to ask the crowd to be quiet. It's a funny feeling down on that court when you're playing. If there's talk going on in the stadium, it comes down like a big echo onto the court.
15 love.
You get the feeling, consequently, that you're not one with the crowd. You know, they're separated from you. Whereas when it's quiet and all your attention's on you, you feel that you're with the crowd and it's all part of the same action. Shot.
love.
He hasn't done this since the first set. Early racket preparation, a little bit of a wrist snap. Bingo. Lendl couldn't get to it. We come back live with a good serve.
40 love.
Remember in the second set in a game set like this, you felt that Lendl might be coasting a little bit on Cash's serve.
Right, because he has a service break. Can be dangerous, but...
Game Cash.
Game to Cash. Lendl leads 5-4 in the third set. We'll be back with more tennis action after this word from your
Lendl
local
leads
stations.
5-4.
Next Saturday, college football returns for its third season on CBS Sports with a game between two of the nation's top teams, Washington and Michigan. In the weeks ahead, you'll see Big Ten showdowns between Illinois and Ohio State and Michigan against Ohio State. Plus, USC against arch-rival UCLA. Boston College against defending national champion Miami. The annual Army-Navy game and more. This season in college football on CBS Sports. This is CBS.
Second serve from Ivan Lendl. Serving at 5-4 in the third. Sets are one apiece.
Shots then were landing very short in the court. The second serve was very short. I'd like to see Cash get into the net on some of those, take the opportunity. Long rallies are going to just fall into Lendl's favor. That's what he'd like to have.
You're not going to beat him much from the baseline, are you?
No way.
Pat Cash isn't going to, because he's going to eventually make a mistake.
There's a short ball there.
A good try by Cash. Good tactic. Just missed the volley.
I think Lendl saw him coming in and kept it very low. Should have tippy-toed in. Got to get to the net.
40 love.
Wrong-footed Lendl on this one. Lendl made a real good play. You can see he had to turn around, change his direction.
3 set points for Lendl.
Cash won the first set 6-3. Lendl came back 6-3 in the second. And now he takes a 2-1 set lead.
Tony and Pat, he struck me as being confident, almost